Welcome to the Defining Moments Black Men series of the Authentic Joe Show. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome William McHugh Jr., CEO of We Improve. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's an honor for me to be here.
Thank you, William. Can you tell us a little about yourself, your occupation, and your background?
Myself, I am a father of one child, divorcee, member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, CEO of We Improve, a rehab and construction company. Been doing construction business for 20 years, a little over 20 years, and have been involved in the building of over 400 houses and remodeling of another couple hundred.
That is fantastic. Thank you, William. How would you describe yourself?
Um, Work first, play later. Um, Person of integrity. Definitely uh, treat others how I want to be treated, and provide service uh, first.
Okay. Thank you. If you had to pick a phrase that would be the theme for your life, what would that be?
Whatever it takes.
Well, that was simple enough. All right. We have certain things in common. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Well, oftentimes people will say, well, what is a defining moment? So, a defining moment is a point in life when a pivotal decision must be made or when an experience fundamentally changes a person. What defining moment would you be willing to share with us today?
The defining moment for me actually started when I was sitting in class when I was in college, and they had a uh, opportunity for internship on a monitor. And I can be honest and say I saw this up there for about 3 weeks before I said, "Oh, let me go ahead and take this opportunity." And something just kept talking to me and saying, this is me. It was a half tuition scholarship for 1 year volunteer service, and I said, you know what, I have time, but I don't have money. So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, can you tell us what happened? So, you took the scholarship, and then how did this defining moment shape your life?
so I had to volunteer for a nonprofit organization whose business was to eliminate substandard housing. So I got to use my background from childhood and my love of building and constructing, along with my engineering background. I was engineering, electronics engineering technology, which had to do a lot of math. Um, and I went to ITT Technical Institute during that time. And when the internship came about, it allowed me to use everything that I had in my repertoire from schooling, from volunteering, from helping my mom and sister do various projects. I used to work at retail store, so customer service. It wrapped all of that into one and allowed me to be able to uh, really hone my skills and dwell from or pull from everything that was inside of me.
Okay. And then as a result, obviously, you have worked on construction for hundreds and hundreds of houses.
Correct. The opportunity allowed me to impact a lot of people's lives there, allowed me to shoot through the ranks, allowed me to uh, really just see a need, fulfill the need, and exceed expectations uh, for the company and personally. The whatever it takes slogan was kind of my repertoire of, you know, we just have to get it done. We don't have an opportunity to say, well, I wish it was things were a lot different. I wish it could be this. Why doesn't somebody else do it? I'm here. Whatever it takes, let's do it.
Okay, that's amazing. So you're fairly young. So how does one build so many houses? Can you tell us a little bit about how do you get so many houses done in a short period of time?
Um, well, we actually used to build during different phases. We had 45 houses a year in my heyday that we were doing. Um, and we were doing 15 houses at a time and doing three phases of build per year. I was with them for 14 and a half years. And during that time, I also started working on the side. So when it was time for me to step out on faith, um, I stepped out on faith, but I used my uh, discernment that was God given to say, okay, well, do I have enough customer base to actually step out on faith and to get this done? So, it was a trial of believing in myself and realizing what opportunities I had come about.
Gotcha. Can you talk a little bit about being a business owner and having that attitude, whatever it takes? I mean, that may be, and myself included, I've been a business owner, but I haven't often managed people because I find that's very difficult to do many times.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you find in the workplace, especially today, post Corona? A lot of people are looking for people to work. I mean, I don't see a lot of whatever it takes attitudes. What about you?
All right, so you're going to unpack a lot of what you just said there. I've actually been managing people since I was 17 years old. Um, So, it starts with one, and then you have two, three, and then three is no more than 10. And then once you get to the point of managing hundreds of people, managing four or five is really no big problem. Um, you have to care about people and allow them to have ownership into the product and the service in which they're providing. That makes it easiest to get everybody on the same page.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
Now in this post-corona world, everybody is looking for people. Uh, we're all looking for more employees to be able to provide services that we need. I think there's a lot of things that have happened during Corona. People have had opportunities to uh, move up in the jobs that they had. People don't have to work two or three jobs anymore. People are able to hustle and do side work that doesn't provide, you know, actually getting out there and putting boots on the ground. Um, and then there are a lot of people that unfortunately have passed away during Corona. The frontline people, the service people that we all took for granted, let's say, our servers at the local restaurants or what have you. Now, what happened, those people that were serving, the people that were actually still going to work, they got promoted. Once they
Mm,
got promoted, they didn't have a need or desire to work two jobs or three jobs anymore. So now we're looking for really that front line, the 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 younger generation to fulfill a gap, and they don't want to. They don't see the need to work as hard.
hmm. Well, I know you work hard in construction. So if you could give advice to a young man who may be watching this broadcast, what are three pieces of advice you would give to a young man, especially in today's world, about how to be successful, however you want to take that?
For I would just say young people, young person. I know this is for our, um, you know, defining moments in male lives, but it's really about. And even when I ran internships, I ran different internships of individuals that were high school age, people that were previously incarcerated, and people that were trying to get into the construction trade. And it really is about time management, showing up, on time is actually late, being early is on time, dressing out or dressing in the appropriate work attire, and coming with a will do attitude. After that, if you present yourself in a teachable manner, and you're actually ready to come to work to learn and to better yourself and the company, it's really easy at that point. The other thing, I guess, is a sense of humility.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have humility to be able to come into an organization, listen to and understand what the culture is and why things are before you try to change it or speak your mind or go against the grain. Because unfortunately, all these rules that may seem to be redundant and unnecessary are there for a reason, safety reasons. First and foremost, safety in the construction industry is definitely why there's a lot of things in place. Then there's break times and making sure that you have proper rest and what have you. But that also then turns back to safety. So just understand the culture before you try to bump the grain and say, "Oh, this is silly. I don't have to do it like this anymore."
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Well, you talked a lot, but it's so quick. So let me just ask one more question. So I want to go back because I think it's fascinating. You said you would build 15 houses at a time. So I've heard a little bit about this. So you just basically do the same thing. Like it's a pattern of you just like start with the bottom layer, whatever, and then do you just work your way up?
Correct. We were doing with the nonprofit organization. We had a hierarchy. So I had three staff most of the time. My three staff had house leaders and co-house leaders, and each house we had 15 to 30 people that were constructing the houses. So on any given Saturday, I had uh, 350 people on a light day, and on a heavy day, 500 people that we were managing. But we also had protocols and rules to follow. We had the same pretty much blueprint for each house, and we provided uh, all the materials that they needed so they could do what they needed to do on the house. And then as I walked through and made sure the quality control was there, that everything that needed to be done was done in a manner that suited everybody.
I love that because I think if we had more organization and structure in general, we could get a lot more accomplished. And so, obviously, safety is a big deal, and I can't even imagine supervising all those people. So, I just think that's fantastic. Okay, well, William, thank you for sharing your wisdom. And before we go, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Um, Final thoughts. In this day and age, post COVID, going into Black History Month, and we are looking at all that Black people have done for our culture, for the world, for um, every ethnicity, and depending on how to what layer you want to go through that, uh, we learn, we adapt, and we make the world a better place. So
Absolutely.
just give honor and give homage to those that have come before us.
Power to the people. Thank you so much, William. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.